All right, guys, welcome to the masterclass. My name is Ali. I am actually relatively new to Planetar. I joined around a month ago, and I'm very excited to share or start this masterclass with you about Facebook ads. I think they're an extremely powerful tool you can use in your business, regardless if you're in real estate, photography, you own a pet shop. Facebook ads, I would say, are so powerful that I'm not sure if you've seen or if any of you were keeping in touch with what was happening a few years ago with the presidential election with Hillary Clinton and Trump. Um, they were used really heavily against Hillary Clinton as well during the campaigns, and they were used in a very negative way where they had to be, you know, certain legislations had to be passed as well. It kind of shows how much you can do with leveraging Facebook ads because Facebook has a lot of information that secretly about us that we don't know. And it is kind of scary, but at the same time, once you kind of know what you can do with it, you can actually really grow your business and get customers in for pennies on a client. It's insane. So let me just share my screen and walk you through about basically how Facebook ads are going to work. I'll also tell you a little structure for the presentation. So first, I'll give you a little introduction on the class. What I hope to achieve is that I'm going to give you a simple walkthrough on the basics today. And then next week, I hope on getting some of you back on here so we can do a more advanced lesson on Facebook ads. And then the next week after that, I want to kind of give you more of a in-depth analysis on how you can use copywriting, certain Facebook features that I personally like to better get clients and get them at a cheaper rate. So let me start sharing my screen. Okay, let me know if you can see this. All right. So to start right off, basically, what you would want to do is, I know some of you might have some experience, obviously, with Facebook ads. Now, what that experience might be, I don't know. It could be just by promoting a post on Facebook by a few dollars, but I want to kind of break that down and tell you what and how you should do that. You should be promoting a post on your Facebook. That really doesn't do much because that's just exposing the post within your community. It doesn't really get you the attention you want. So instead, what I want you to do is go on business.facebook.com or just Google Facebook Business Manager and then type in your credentials, like all your information, and you'll basically be logged into the backside of Facebook ads or the Facebook Business Manager, as you can see right here. So this is basically my personal account I'm running for a client, and it's called Underpriced Homes. It's basically a realtor, but I have pretty much control of everything. So I'm going to be giving you an example as someone from your side, what you can do on your end. So once you're logged in, what you would want to do is basically, I'm going to give you another idea of what's happening here. So on the left side, we have the tab of, you get your home, your activity inbox, you can view your ads over here directly. Let me just minimize that. And what else you want to do is you can also go on your insights. It kind of tells you how your ads are performing. It tells you the paid reach over time. It tells you the Facebook page reach, how many people have visited your site or your Facebook page. You scroll down, you get a lot more data as well. Now, let's see. So I want you to pay attention to the bottom of the screen, recent ads. If you're using this first time, doesn't matter. You'll still see the option where you can click here. And what you would want to do is go on an ads manager page right here. Okay. Now, once you're on the ads manager page, you'll notice that, well, yours is going to be probably empty if you've never ran Facebook ads. On my end, you'll probably see something like this. I have a lead form or traffic page form. I have something that's off, not currently running. And this basically shows you, let's break this down. So the bid strategy, how much you're paying per ad, or you're bidding per ad to basically show, because, okay, to give you more a bit of a background, Facebook, Instagram, they have only so much real estate online where only so many competitors can show certain ads before the space runs out, right? So you're basically competing against getting your name or your image on the platform against other people who are also using ads. So that's called the bid strategy. So where my bid strategy is the lowest cost. There are other things you can do obviously as well. I like the lowest cost because I like preferably getting leads for my clients at a low cost and letting him do the email marketing or letting him do the outreach and letting him be the person who basically converts the the traffic into actual buyers. Next, you'll see the results. So like I'm sending them to a landing page, as you can see here. So far, my first campaign I had run for a week. I had 49 people go to the landing page. The one before that, I had around 68. The only difference is that this one ran for 2 weeks. This one ran for a week. So using the same strategy, the reach is the number of people you are reaching. Impressions are the number of people who have seen the ad. It could be the same person seeing it twice, or it could be one person seeing it for the first time. So the number of people that have seen the ad, depending on the times they've seen it. Cost per result. This is important because you want to manage obviously your cost. You also want to manage and have an expectation for your clients or yourself on how much it's costing per person to go on your website or landing page. For my case, it's $1 for $1.25 per view on the landing page. The one before that was $1.33. Total amount spent, since I've only ran this for a few weeks, 151. The average, my client personally wanted around 500 per month. There's no really a good amount to spend when it comes to Facebook ads. It really depends on your budget. I will say this, from my experience, and this is also from the experience of a lot of other Facebook marketers I've spoken to, some of my mentors, my teachers. They've said that if you want a proper, I would say, a very professional campaign that will get you results for sure. Every campaign works obviously, but it depends how much you want, how many results you want based on a certain time frame. Around $1,500 to $2,000 is a good campaign budget. Obviously, you don't have to spend all of it, and I'll get into the details later, but that's a good amount to keep in mind. And there are many reasons I'll give you why. And unique clicks is something very important as well. How many unique clicks are coming and how many people are, how many individuals are coming onto your site for the first time. So that means around a total of 70 people landed on this page, and the previous one was around 89. And link clicks are obviously how many people clicked the link. And unique clicks could be from ads, it could be from other sources as well, but mostly from ads. Now, I want to walk you through how to actually create a campaign. So in this class, it's going to be a very basic form. It's going to be the most basic thing you can do if you're running Facebook ads for the first time. I hope you guys join the next class next week. I want to go into more detailed strategy on things you can do where you can optimize, let's say, not just the same people that came to your landing page, but also people that are similar to the audience. So you can ask Facebook to target people that are similar in interests, or like we call these lookalike audiences, and basically tell Facebook to, hey, I like this group of people that came in, go find me same people with same interest. Here's the budget. And Facebook will obviously optimize that for you. So you go and create an ad over here. And for this example, I'm only going to be giving you one basically campaign objective. Obviously, you can run multiple of them, not at the same time, separately. And in this case, in the ideal world, where you have a budget of $2,000, you would first want to run a brand awareness campaign. So think of Facebook ads like a funnel, right? On the top of the funnel, you have the cold traffic. They have no idea who you are. They're seeing you for the first time. In their mind, they're thinking, why should I go on this page? Who is this guy? I've never seen him, right? So on average, Google marketing, if you want someone to convert, you got to show them an ad or your brand around 7 times. So consider this, brand awareness. You're basically telling Facebook, hey, I'm putting in this much money, around $500 a month. I want you to show my image, my brand to these number of people these many times. I just want to create awareness. I'm not going to be telling them to go on this website. I'm not going to be telling them to click here, click there. I'm just either promoting, let's say, a webinar, promoting a free book, promoting something of value that they'll be interested in. So you're basically creating fans, or creating more like someone who's seen your ad and finds you interesting, that they've interesting enough that they've actually reviewed your page or clicked through or something, but they've not really taken an action, like giving you their email address or phone number. So you're just creating that awareness who you are. Second, in that same campaign, what I would recommend people to do is, once you create that awareness, use that same people that clicked on your Facebook page or on your website, and run a traffic campaign with the same budget, around $500 to $600 the next month. That way, your goal is to basically get those same people that clicked or saw your ad to now click and see your website officially. So you're basically running a traffic campaign for the same people to come to your website. It's much more easier this way, because now you're basically bringing them down from the funnel, right? So they were cold, now they're coming warmer because now they've seen your ads before and brought awareness. Now they're coming down to more of a, okay, so I saw this ad, I'm gonna check out their Facebook page, or I'm gonna check out their website and see what they're all about. Now that's the part where you want to capture attention and bring more people in. Now you're basically refining your audience. These are the people that showed interest. Next, in your final campaign, I would give around $600, $700, around that much, to run the same campaign for the same people that now came in as traffic to your website, and I would run them as conversions. That's a whole separate strategy. Now you're basically retargeting to the same people that not only clicked your ad and not only came to your website, but showed interest. Now you run the campaign and you tell Facebook, hey, listen, I want you to run these same ads to the same people, but now I want it to be a conversion campaign. So now make sure they're coming in and they're converting. In the sense, it could be, purchasing a product. It could be about, let's say, booking a call with you. It could be about, booking a service with you. So that's a very more advanced level. I'll get to that next week and the week after. But for today, I want to focus more on just the traffic campaign. And it still works. I've seen it work as well. And it doesn't have to be funneled down from basically cold. You can obviously engage people at any level, but let's, for today's example, run a traffic campaign. Okay, you chose your traffic, and the idea is that you want people to go to a website or a destination. So you press continue. If you have any questions, and if I'm going too fast, let me know. I can definitely repeat. And by the way, this recording will be available on YouTube in case you need to go back as well. So now we are basically, one second. Oops. We're basically, if you can see this, on a new campaign. So let's name our campaign. Just for this, for organizational purposes, it makes it much more easier. I'm just going to name this test 1. Okay. Now, this is something that's very new, special ad category. It wasn't really a thing before. It's more of like a way Facebook is basically making sure you're not discriminating when it comes to certain audiences. And it really depends on your type of business. If you click here, if your business falls in any one of these 4 categories, you have to declare it. So it could be either a business for credit, a business for employment, housing, or social issues like politics. Again, this is mostly because of the fiasco from the back in the day, the elections with Trump and Clinton. Again, Facebook ads were used unfairly against I think it was a Clinton campaign, I can't remember, but they were used to misinform a lot of the audiences back and forth. That's a whole different issue. So Facebook took the initiative to basically make sure that you're not abusing or discriminating against certain people in the traffic, right? So if you're running a photography business, don't worry about it. Now, keep this option and campaign objective, traffic. There's also the A/B testing. This is something we'll get into the next class as well. But just to give you an idea, 80% of what you'll be doing on Facebook is testing. 20% will be actually running the ads, running the ads in the sense to get leads. So testing is basically running different creatives, running different images, running different copy of the same images, trying different audiences. So once you find what works best, you then basically refine and repeat and keep using that, because 80% of your budget will be going into testing, because it takes a lot of time to figure out what kind of audience reacts best to your ads and how to leverage that. So that's something we can do in the next class as well, but it's very simple, and I'll show you how that's done. So once you select your campaign objective, it's not special ads. I would also do, for campaign budget optimization, I would turn this on. And this is what basically allows Facebook to optimize the budget for the best performing ads. So you don't have to worry about it. So if you see an ad that's performing really good, you turn this on and you put a daily, let's say I'm going to put $10 per day, a daily budget. Not a lot. It's like 2 Starbucks coffees, or depending what you're getting, not a whole lot, right? But the idea is that you're telling Facebook that I want you to go in and optimize the campaigns or the ads that are performing best. And it has this algorithm, it figures out what's doing best on certain audiences, and it puts the budget towards that. So this is a very powerful strategy to use as well. Then you press next. And now comes my favorite part on what you want to do with your traffic. Ideally, you would want to send them to a website, right? There's also a way you can keep them on Facebook, where they can fill out the leads within the Facebook page. But for today's example, let's send them to a website, right? Now, this could be a website. Let's say you have a landing page. It could be a landing page. It could be a landing page you made on your own through a provider like Wix or ClickFunnels or whatever landing page software is out there. Or you can send them to your own website, where you're basically telling them, hey, this is the information, go down here, and if you want to call or if you want to buy a product, just click this button, right? So what you would want as a marketer on your side, you would want to make sure that your audience, when they're coming to your website, they're not reading as much as they need to. What I mean by that is make it easy for them. Make sure that they're coming on. It's not complicated. They know what to do. They know what to read, and they know where to buy your product or buy your service. So a landing page, I'll give you an example right here. This is something I ran for my client. Oops, I think it is CA. Priced. Oh, oops, 1 second. So the idea is that it's a realtor campaign. The realtor said, I want to get people to come in and get leads. So the idea is that they already know who the guy is through the ads, because your job is to tell them all about it. They come on the website, and this is what they'll have to do. Simple. Name, email, phone number, optional. Where are you looking to buy? They submit. My client gets the lead, and next thing you know, you're pretty much on your own and giving them the calls and taking care of that issue. See, there's some questions coming in. Okay, I'm going to get to your questions at the end. Just hold on to them. Let me just finish this right here. 1 second. I will be reaching. Hi, Peter. So I will be going over that as well. Just 1 second. So I will be getting to your questions. Don't worry, guys. They're right here. Okay. Okay, let's see. So now you have your website ready, okay? Dynamic creative, don't worry about it. If it's basically Facebook picking out the elements on a creative and figuring out what works best. I mean, you can do it technically, or you can do it on your own. Not that big of a deal, in my opinion. This is more for lead generation when you have a lead magnet. And this is a separate campaign. I think it's better if I show that to you next week. Now, let's do the budget and schedule. Okay, so we have the budget. It was $10 a day. Start date, today we can do it ongoing, or we can set an end date. Ends at, let's say, next week. We can do that as well. But for today's example, let's keep it ongoing. It's better to not have an end date and just let the ads go on their own. Now, this is the fun part, your audience. Okay. By this time, I assume you already have an idea who your audience is. If not, no worries. You can definitely do some research and find who your best audiences, are by going on Google, doing a quick, search. There are a few ways you can do this, right? So you can do custom audiences. That's when you already have an audience that reacted to your ad before, and you save that audience. Facebook lets you do that, and you can run traffic back to the same audience. Or you can do a lookalike audience, which is basically the ads that you're running to a certain audience, which were behaving in a very successful way, meaning they were coming to your website, clicking on the ads. You can tell Facebook to go ahead and find you similar audiences like this. And it's based on their interests, their behaviors, their buying patterns online. For today, we're going to be working, since it's your first campaign, your first ad, this won't be an issue because you don't have any saved audiences yet. Once you get on here and you're ready, we can basically go ahead and create the audience ourselves. Okay. Second, so in this case, let's do age 18. If you're a photography, I would say 45. It could be, again, this is an example. It could be anything in between. And on the right-hand side, you'll see as well audience definition. So this is the potential reach. It's a lot of people, yes, but as soon as we keep refining the audience, it gets smaller and smaller. This is the complete audience around the world, which is a lot. And once you refine the audience, it'll show you what the actual reach will be. So we have all genders. You can obviously press edit, and you can do men, women. Keep it all. I think that's better. Detailed targeting. This is something to pay attention to. Now, what this basically means is that, oops, 1 second. There you go. Okay. Now, what are you looking for in your audience? When you're looking for something in your audience, it's better to be not too specific or too broad. You need somewhere in the middle, right? So what do I mean by too specific? What I mean by that is you can choose the demographics, the interests, and behaviors. Try not to go a little too crazy with this because you don't want them to be too niche unless that's your goal. And I say this because if you're keeping it broader, it's going to be cheaper for you to get more people on your website. And that just means, you get generally more people on your website. So it makes retargeting and it makes lookalike audiences a lot more easier and cheaper as well, because now you have a lot more people, a lot more data to work with. So generally what I like to do is pick around 2 to 3 interests, not too much, and something very relative. So this has to be done carefully because you don't want to target the wrong people. Best way to do this is really see who you're targeting, do some research, what kind of people are buying and what kind of people are basically catching the hook. So if you're a real estate agent, or let's say if you are, 1 second, let's say if you're a real estate agent or a photographer, you can do some interest behaviors like real estate shows. You'll see a bunch of options showing up and you have to choose between them. And transaction, it could be anything of that sort. Investor, buying and selling, you'll see Facebook pretty much takes care of everything. You can also do based on industries. And over here, you can see on the right side, the size of people this interest will get you. It's around 553,000, which is a good number. Next, since I'm not going to be doing real estate, let's try photography. Again, this is my first time doing photography. So let's see, you get a bunch of options here. You can do digital photography, wedding, travel, nature, landscape, that's really important as well. Underwater, night, tripod. You have so many options. And again, this is where testing comes in as well. Remember when I said 80% of your Facebook ads are testing? This is one example. Obviously, you're not going to test all of them, but running different campaigns to different audiences gives you a good idea of what works best. And let's try photography. This shows up. So that's not in the suggestion. So let's do photography for now, landscape. That's one. Let's try another interest. So that's around 55 billion. That's a little too broad. Okay. Let's do now. Also keep in mind, these audiences are based on the online traffic's behavior. So this is the interest they've shown online. So they've basically gone on Google, they basically clicked certain things, or they've basically shown certain interests or watched certain videos that they're coming into this category as landscape photography. Let's do behaviors. Let's see, need some examples for this. Let's try a wedding. If weddings are coming up. Nope, not yet. Let's see. Also make sure you click this. It basically Facebook targets people on your behalf that may have, similar interests as well. Let's do suggestions. Okay. Let's go back to photography. You have wedding photography. Or we can do mixed match interests, like someone who does landscape, someone who is in real estate. Agent works as well, or broker. Okay, so you have landscape photography as an interest, your real estate broker as an interest. I'm going to add one more. Let's see. What else? That's a tough one, eh? You got to figure out who your audience is, really. But let's see. Yeah, we can definitely try architect. Let's see if that works. We have architecture. Let's try that again. There you go. Architecture, or architectural photography. So now you can see your audience hasn't changed the current criteria. Teacher talking. Okay. Second. So now you can see your audience has narrowed down to 5,200,000 people. And this is, we have, excuse me, we haven't really touched upon the location yet. That's something we have to do. So once we do that, it's going to narrow down. But by clicking on detailed targeting expansion, it just goes back up. And that's basically a way of letting Facebook run the ads to people. It knows it's going to do better because, again, Facebook is the hub of data. And whatever Facebook deems, let's say, viable and deems that's going to work better, trust its system. It probably does because it's working with an insane amount of data and probably knows what's best. It's always better to let Facebook do its own thing, reach people beyond your detailed targeting, meaning if it finds an audience that it thinks it's going to be better, it'll run some ads and it'll let you know on that as well. You can also save this audience for later use. It basically just go in and you can, that's the client basically, and it lets you save whoever the audience is. Now, next thing is you can do automatic placements or you can do manual placements. Automatic placements is that it automatically places the ad to all the social networks and all the locations. This could be like, let's say, a banner on Facebook or one of the stories that comes up. Any place on Facebook that it finds useful where people will engage with, it's going to put it there. And by doing so, it lets you pretty much gain the engagement and traffic coming in. So always put automatic, unless you have something very specific and you want to do manual, you can do that as well. But I would always recommend automatic because it lets you reach a broader audience. Again, this is optimization part where we're going to be talking about link clicks. So that's the goal. You want landing page views. Again, remember we clicked on engagement. So the idea is that we want people coming into your, let's say, your website. We can also do link clicks or impressions for daily unique reach. Difference is landing page views, it optimizes for people that will go to your website most likely. Link clicks, it'll optimize for people that are most likely to go and click on a link that you have or click on a link on the website. And impressions is basically more like brand building, people that just to like put it in front of people that already know or don't know who you are, just to get an idea of who you really are, just to create that brand building awareness so you can retarget your ads to them. In this case, I would prefer landing page views so I can do a retargeting campaign to the same people. You'll notice I keep saying retargeting because, again, that is the holy grail of Facebook, in my opinion, because once you have good enough data of people come to your website, that's when you want to retarget them, because now you know these are the people that have shown interest, and now you can do a retargeting campaign to get them into your funnel. So I just press next, and this is where you're going to be running your ad. You'll see review error because I haven't really put a URL field into your ad, meaning I haven't placed a website yet. We'll get to that in a bit as well. So let's name our ad. Let's see, since the last one was test, I'm going to test 1.0, whatever works. Identity, basically, who are you running it for? So are you running it for yourself? Are you running it for someone else? So make sure your business or your business page is shown right here. If you have an Instagram page, you can basically also connect it directly, so your ads run on Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram page, don't worry. Facebook basically still runs it on Instagram, and it creates like a mock account where people don't really go on there. Even if they go on there, there's nothing on there. It's basically a platform that lets users look at it this way. In order to advertise on Instagram, you need an account. If you don't have an account, Facebook kind of creates one for you in a way. Even though there's nothing on there, it's really like a test dummy account, and it deletes it once the ad's gone. So people don't usually see that account anyways. They'll only see the ad. Ad setup, let's see. So you can, if you already have an existing ad, like an existing post you made on your Facebook, you can use that, or you can use a mock-up or test a few things. But let's create an ad for this example. Now you have three options. You can do either a single image or a video. Basically what that means is that you want to show your audience an image and or a video and for them to click on, or you can do a carousel. Basically, I'm sure you've seen this on Facebook where a carousel where you see multiple images and a person can swipe right on them. It's more like prominent when you're on your phone, but you can also do that on your desktop. Collection, it's a bunch of group items. You can do full screen experience. It's a relatively new thing they've actually put on Facebook. Before it used to be only image, video, or carousel. I'm going to always go with video and image because from my experience and from the people I've spoken to, and again, you can try different things as well. Single image and video is the most effective because keep in mind, people when they're online, they don't have a large attention span. Most of them are, from studies that I've seen, they're probably going to be reviewing your post for 3 to 5 seconds. So you want to make sure you capture their attention in the first 3 to 5 seconds. And that's why I always recommend video over image, because video is much more engaging. There's things going around there. You can put your message in there. You can show them something about your product, someone using your product, or maybe if you're in photography and you're doing wedding pictures or wedding videos, you can show them a happy couple walking down the aisle. You can be very creative. So all this, in my opinion, choose video. One, because it gets more engagement, and two, it's proven to be a little cheaper because it gets more engagement. So don't worry about this. It's also an option you have. You can also add a full instant experience. It's basically, it takes over the whole entire screen. I tend not to do that, but you can definitely try. It hasn't worked for me that much, but if it works for you, go for it. Now, this is the part where you can actually add a creative. I'm going to get to one second. Let's turn this to video. So you'll see you can do a bunch of videos on here. I'll get to that in a bit, but let's do the primary text first. So this is something they're going to probably see the first thing they see your ad. The headline text is even though it says optional, always have a headline text. It's generally a good idea. And description, something basically when they're coming down on or going down their feed, they see your ad. This is something that they'll read. So something that captures their attention. A good formula I like to follow is the image captures their attention to read the headline. The headline captures their attention to read the description. And the description, if it's compelling enough, captures their attention to further read or see where the call to action is. Is it going to a website, a Facebook event, or a phone call they can book it? And this is where obviously you can put in your link. So always use that formula. Make sure you always have a compelling image, it's eye-catching, or compelling video, eye-catching, and it basically drags them down to read the text itself, okay? So in this case, I'm going to give you a very small example on how to make a quick image. I just go to canva.com. I'm sure most of you are aware of it. If not, canva.com, basically sign in with your email. You can get a lot of creatives here, a lot of videos you can use as well. So let's try photography. Nope, don't want that. Let's try templates. Let's do Facebook post. Oops, wrong. So as you can see, you have a bunch of templates. You also want to make sure you're following the design, the size guidelines. So what I would like to do is just create a post, custom size, and let's try 9/16. Second, change this to inches. So 6/4, let's say. Let's create it. It's going to be a very small one, but let's try that. So this is a good image size for an ad, but in my opinion, I think it would be better if you do that's something that's a little more mobile friendly. So let's try this again. Instagram post. Something like this, a little narrow, a little friendly for Instagram and for your Facebook when you're using on your phone. On the left-hand side, you'll see a bunch of options here you can use. So again, we want something that's eye-catching. If it's video, even better. So since I don't have a premium account, some of the videos I won't be able to access, but let's, for the sake of this example, let's do like this. This sizes up and reorganize it in a way that gets the attention. It's real estate, ideally. But if you want something that's more photography based, you can try that as well. Okay, some of these, or most of them, are actually premium, so I won't be able to have access to. But let's try weddings. Again, all premium. All right, let's go with the same example again. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm just going to keep this for now. Again, be creative. Don't be like me. Use as many things as you want. What you would want in that video. Ideally, the video is a little more engaging than just this, but for this example, let's just do that. And by engaging, I mean little cut screens, a little camera movements to if you have a person in that video, then it's way better because that's way more engaging than just having a boring old background. But for today, let's just do that. Let's do a quick title grab here. Okay, let's get some ideas. What should we put on here that's going to capture their attention? As a photographer or real estate agent, people generally like things that are free, of value, and are generally of a sort that if they click on, they know they're going to get something out of it. So in this case, let's do free consultation. Obviously, make sure that it comes out in a way that's clearly red. So you can tell the background is a little too white. So I'm going to change the color to, let's say, yellow. And pre-consultation. Oops, 1 second. I'm actually going to change the background because this is not working for me. I still want a class. Okay, I like this. I mean, if I saw an ad of some guy doing this, I'd probably click on it, to be honest. Like, I mean, come on. But let's just do this. Let's, for example, in this case, you're running a dance studio, okay? And what you're trying to do is get people to book a call with you on the phone for a one-on-one, or maybe come to a free class and see if they like it. The idea is that you get people in the door and you give them a free service for maybe a day or two, or to test it out. If they like it, they can come back and pay for it, and boom, they're a customer. So let's try free 1 hour dance class. Again, make sure it's readable. So let's choose something that's black. I think that's free 1 hour dance class. Second. There you go. It doesn't have to be like super fancy, is something that gets their attention. Something I've noticed is that the more the raw a video is, meaning the more it's shot, not unprofessionally, but someone not at the same time from a $10,000 camera, something that's done, you can tell either from a smartphone, because smartphones have pretty good lenses, the better, because it kind of shows that, hey, it captures their attention. It shows that this is something that stands out. So try that as well. Free 1 hour dance class. And you also want to have a call to action in the video. So we can just add a quick text here. You want to make sure you send them somewhere to your website. Free 1 hour class, dance class, click link below. This way they know what's happening, and this way you know where you can send them. So, and we can also animate it. I think that's a little better. So like this, or like that. So once you play this, obviously it's not going to show the animated part yet, but that's a feature we have. So download it. While it's downloading, let me just go back to my ads manager. See if I've missed a step. Okay, website URL. This is again your website you want to send them to. I'm just going to put the same one I was using before, because it's still technically my client. That's homes.ca. Okay, and on this, once you put in the URL, you get an idea on the right hand side what the placements look like. So, oops, it's a little glitchy. Let's go back now to our ad. Our ad is downloaded. Now let's upload the video on here. There you go. It works for now. Oops, 1 second. The worst part about actually uploading videos is that finding where they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this to my desktop and upload videos. Oops, not that one. There you go. Processing. Okay. While that's being uploaded, we can start working on our primary text, something that's going to capture their attention. And the best part is most of it will show up here as you're writing it. So you can basically see what that looks like as you work on your ad. Okay, so underpriced homes, let's go for headline. Let's see. Free 1 hour dance class. It shows up right here. And then at the same time, you want to make sure you tell them what to do. And at the same time, you can see it's being updated, right? So make sure you're your primary text is compelling in the sense that it captures your attention. So you want to put emojis if you have any. If you have some good copy, you can put in there, but make sure it's quick, engaging, and captures your attention. So let's see, tired of having 2 left feet. Get professional dance classes today. Try out our 1-hour free class and get coached by the best dance teacher in town, or let's exaggerate as much as you can. It doesn't really have to be, don't be humble over here. Make sure you capture their attention as much as you can. Description. This is something that pops up. 1 second. Right below here. So let's see. Click the link or click here and get. Or just click here is fine. It basically tells them what to do. Now you can obviously add more options. That's pretty much it. You can also display the link. I think that's generally a good idea, but it's already showing. It kind of shows that your website is registered. It's an official website, and it's not something that's catchy. You know, it's like, let's say free dance classes. It could be Underground Studio, whatever, undergroundstudio.com. It kind of shows you're coming with authority. You have some kind of, you have some kind of like leverage that you actually went out and bought a domain, and now you have a website. Also, make sure you give them an idea what's going to happen. So this is basically what's going to show up over here. So if I'm seeing an ad that says click here for a 1 hour dance class, I would probably see something like, let's say, book now, meaning book your session, come on over. Add languages. You can also add languages for translation purposes. For this example, let's just keep it simple. This is the pixel. This is something that I'm going to go over in the next class, because this is something very important that everyone should be doing when they're running Facebook ads. A pixel is basically a piece of code that you apply on the website you're sending traffic. And the idea behind this is that this code tracks the amount of traffic that's coming to your site. So that way it basically monitors the behaviors of people that are coming in, and you can use this to basically retarget the same people, run lookalike audiences. So there's a way you can do this. I'll run over that next class, but it's pretty simple. You get the code, you send it to your website developer, whoever made your website. They know how it's done, and they just add the code on their end. It's like adding Google Analytics, same idea, pretty simple. Don't worry about the parameters. This is something that's a little too complicated for now. We'll get into that next time if we have more classes, more than 3. So now I can just basically publish this ad. Before I do, I want to make sure I have everything reviewed. Like, I'm sending them to my my website, description, 1 hour class, everything's done here. I have the video. One thing I forgot to show you, sorry, is the placements. Where are the ads going to be placed? So in here, click on placements, you'll see where the ad's going to appear down the road. Okay, so one here is a free 1 hour class. This is from a Facebook search result. If they search your result, it'll show up here. This will be showing up on their normal Facebook feed. This will be on the instant article, which is also a Facebook feature. Their ad, it'll be also showing up on in-stream videos. It won't be showing up on desktop because the sizing wasn't correct. The sizing wasn't what's recommended for desktop view, but that doesn't matter, because honestly, 70 to 80% of your traffic is coming from the website, your cell phone. So as long as you're optimizing for your cell phone, you should be fine. People tend not to use desktop anymore anyways, unless they're at work like me and they're searching free dance classes. But most cases, not going to happen. Keep coming down. You see Marketplace, a great place to advertise as well. So it's optimized for that. Perfect. Your stories. So this is when you're searching, or you're on your Facebook or your Instagram, and you're clicking on stories. This is what appears. And this is the text below. Same thing with the Instagram post. Same idea. Keep coming down, and this is what's going to happen. And This is the call to action, book now. Boom, you're done to go. You're ready. And I think I didn't do the location. Let me go back and do that for you. So I went back one step back. So schedule, audience, location, there you go. Yeah. So if you want to locate or specifically target people, we can obviously do them per location. And this is something, let's say you're in Canada, but you want something more specific. Let's say you're in Waterloo, Ontario. Click here. And it narrows down to Kitchener-Waterloo. You can also do multiple locations. You can add locations in bulk, or you can add, let's say, another one here. Oh, also you can do people that are living in this area, people that were recently living in this area, or went by this area. Let's say they were traveling. So always pick people living in the area because those are most likely to come and actually buy from you, unless your goal is something else. Unless you're targeting, let's say you're doing Airbnb, you can definitely do travelers. That would be a better idea. Also search, let's say, Toronto, Ontario, add that there. So you have like multiple locations. You can also increase the diameter. So it's 40 kilometers. You can increase it to, let's say, a larger target audience. And you'll see it expands. Basically, this expands to a certain region. And on the right-hand side, you'll see your audience number go up. These are the number of people that you will be reaching based on the information you put in. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm not going to publish this, obviously, but the idea is that it's pretty simple. Once you have that up and running, Facebook will take around a day or like 12 to 20 hours to review. Once they do that, it's good to go. What will happen next is that your ads will show up here on the main page. This is when you logged in. You go down and you'll see the number of ads that are running, and this will show you the results. This is so much easier than going to Ads Manager. It just shows you directly how many people you reached, price you spent, and the number of people that have actually clicked on the landing page. So again, I was running basically a cold audience. Now the next goal is I have around 49 and 68 people. My next step would be to run a a retargeting campaign to the same people. What that means is that now I can retarget my ads to the same people that showed interest before but did not click. What that means is that by retargeting, I'm following the basic marketing rule of showing my ad to someone around 5 to 6 times before they actually take action. Your same idea is going to happen with you. If you're running a photography or real estate or whatever business, make sure you're targeting the same people, you're testing, and you're optimizing your budget and your images. So keep testing, keep doing copies, keep doing different versions, and soon you'll find the perfect sweet spot where you want to target. And that's going to get you clients in for cents. It's amazing how much you can do once you have that optimized audience. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to take questions if you have any. Let's see. Amir's asking, for a $2,000 budget, what can expect to get back in client counts to justify the expense? Any numbers from other photographers to share? Unfortunately, I don't have any numbers from other photographers to share, but for a $2,000 budget, you can be looking at, so I'll give you an example. I spent around, this is the most basic campaign I ran. I didn't do anything complicated. This is exactly what I ran and what I showed you. And I've spent around 150 for 2 campaigns with the same idea, 2 different ads. And I got around 68 plus 49, 100, and I'm not too good at maths, but around 115, I would say, 100, around that area, number of people that landed on my page. And I'll be honest, I had from these people, from running a very basic campaign, I had 12 people convert. So 12 people actually gave their phone number and their interest to buy. Now, this is just the most basic cold targeted campaign I've ran. If I choose and I rerun, let's say, the same campaign for, let's say, $200 extra, I can actually retarget these people. And what's going to happen next is that by retargeting, my likelihood of converting is going to get higher and higher, because now I'm showing the same ad to the same people. Is there a guaranteed way that you're going to be getting results? Absolutely not. Nothing's guaranteed. It's in marketing. It's basically, you test something, it works, you test it again, and it works again. Okay. If it doesn't, that means you got to change something up. But if you're following the formula, if you're following the same methods, down the road, you will see results because I can bet you this is what pretty much any marketing agency you go to is going to do. They're going to run ads. They're going to test different things. The difference is that they have more time to do so. So they'll be doing it in a much more higher amount. But you can't really guarantee results unless you have a proof of concept where you've done this before. So if you're running for the first time, I would choose a smaller budget first. Once that smaller budget kind of justifies that, okay, I got these many results from, let's say, $500 a month, I can only get more now with putting in more money. So that's my answer to that. Peter, how do we or Facebook determine what audience we wish or will reach? So when you're trying to do your research when it comes to your Facebook audience, generally it's better to, this is why I choose a broader audience and going niche. My answer to that is this: pick 2 to 3 audiences of similar interests. Let's say if you're in photography, pick what makes sense to you. Obviously do some research on Google. You can go on Google Trends, which is a really good, the Google software app you can use. You can use other softwares like keyword research. You can do that and see what people are talking about. Basically get an idea what people are talking about and get an idea what keywords they're using. That could be a little technical. My simple answer is use a broad audience and then let Facebook retarget to the same audience, because Facebook actually counts the number of people that click on your ad or engage in it. It has this really magical algorithm that goes around figuring out what audience is most likely to react better than the rest. So the way I would look at it is like a funnel, broad audience, and bring it down. Let Facebook bring it down into a smaller funnel. Okay, so broad, small, tiny, niche. That's what you would want to do. Amir's asking again, how long will the 2000 budget last in Facebook to be effective? It really depends on how big your client is or how big your goal is. Some clients do $2,000 a month. Some do $2,000 in a few months. Some of the clients I was working in real estate, they were spending $100,000 a month because they wanted to build a traffic so big, so large, and grow really fast because they had the budget. But someone who's starting out, try it yourself, $100 a month, $200 a month. Make sure you're doing at least, I would say, $10 a day, because that's a good number, and then see how that goes. And if it doesn't get you the results you want, pivot, add more money, maybe try different audiences and see how that goes. But it really depends on how and what your goal is. Adela is asking, I do not have a Facebook account. Do I have to create one in order to create all ads? Technically, not really, unless it's best if you do have an account, but you can get around with it. What you can do is, if you have, let's say, you can use another account. Let's say, for example, if you have a business account, you can use that. If you have someone else who's running an account, you can use their account. If, let's say, you're working for a client, you can use a client's account. It doesn't always have to be your specific account, but in the end, you do need an account to run a business, Facebook business ad campaign. That's pretty much it, guys. If you have any more questions, I'll be here for a couple more moments. Let's see. I'm also looking at, Amr mentioned in detail targeting, can we choose generous realtors? I wish, man, it's hard, I wish. But yes, Harpreet, you do get the recording. Before I go, I do want to say, go on our YouTube channel. It's Iguide, very simple. And, we'll have all the recordings there. Make sure to subscribe, because we'll be putting out a lot more videos like these in the near future. Next week, my goal is to make or basically run you guys through a little more technical campaign where we can do retargeting, we can do from cold to warm traffic. So I'm going to be doing that next week. I hope you guys come back, because I think that's going to be the most value out of all the campaigns I run, is how to basically retarget and how to get the most buck for the value. And again, the recording is going to be available on YouTube. Peter's asking, I'm working with Outbound Engine to send out newsletters and handle my CRM. They have offered a service to take out Facebook ads. Does it make sense to work with a company to handle this, or best to handle? Now, my answer, it really depends. If you have the budget I would definitely outsource it to the company that is actually doing this, because it's pretty likely that they're mostly going to be doing it to themselves. Like they know what's happening, and it's most likely that they've specialized it. But if you don't have the budget, nothing too serious, you can definitely do this on your own as well. Essentially, this is all they're going to do for you at a much more larger scale, at a much more time efficient manner. I think that's pretty much it. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. It was great talking to all of you. I hope you got some value from it, and check out our YouTube channel. Go subscribe and check out the video there. It will be live. Thank you. Take care.